Okay, it's part 2. Camp. So, we have our fashion little camp back there.
But that took bricks, and you probably won't just find a ring.
You probably won't just find a ring.
Bricks in the forest.
Yeah, so, forest camp. Here's a really good spot, actually, right here where we started the video. This is a great spot for forest camp, by the way. Speaking of the animal thing, there's a little, like, chipmunk thing in the brush area that way, where Ben is, like, starting to chop. But this is a great camp spot. Use some, like, big logs. Make sure there's, like, nothing in the logs, especially, though. Make sure there's no, like, raccoons or anything inside the logs.
Especially fire ants.
Especially fire ants. Make sure there's nothing inside the logs that'll, like, get mad at you or try and eat you or attack you or anything. This is a good camp spot. Try, if you get, like, a weapon like Ben's, try and get something to smash the, like, some of the brush and stuff around it and, like, chop it down and rip it up.
Then you need to upgrade your weapon and make a fire.
Before you start a fire, make sure there's no brush nearby so you don't start a freaking forest fire. But, yeah, chop some stuff. Like, also, to upgrade your weapon, try and find, like, first thing you want is something, like, to find a sharp rock. Yeah, you want a sharp rock to make a real good weapon. You want a sharp rock to, 1, sharpen your old weapon, and 2, get some, like, get, like, a rope and tie some big clustery thing. In fact, this is a real good cluster thing. Let me just try stepping on it. Right there, this is a good one for, like, try and, like, tie that to the end of a good, big, sturdy stick.
Some things, like this plant here, which actually, off of this plant, smell really good, but are not edible.
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff in the forest that is not edible. Red berries, don't eat them.
If they're red, white, or yellow berries, don't eat them. And if you find a dandelion, if you rub off the leaves, you can eat it. And also,
don't eat pokeweed.
You already said that.
I know. I'm just saying again. So
another thing you can usually eat in the forest, keyword being usually, is chives. Sometimes they are too overgrown, and too overgrown chives can rot and die. Here is a good weapon.
That
short, you can hit short range and throw
chuck it. See how it flew about, how many feet would you say that is, Ben?
25.
But yeah, so you can go about 25 feet. So another good thing, traps. There's another really good trap over here that also involves, like, to catch animals. See right there, there's that big stick right there. It's real long and stuff. If you were to tie a piece of meat to that, some animal tries to, like, grab the meat, it'll pull it down. That should fall down and, like, skewer the animal.
Not skewer, just knock unconscious, and then you can rip the skin off and stuff.
Yeah, and you can also eat the meat of the animal.
But if
and
it's a lucky shot and you pointed this whole every end of the stick, it will kill it.
Yeah, which would be a good idea, because then you'd get double the meat. Because, well, no, you just get
double
some
the meat. You get less work.
Yeah.
You get less work. You don't have to.
Another thing, bow and arrows, fashioning arrows. Typically, you're going to think, oh my gosh, I can make some stone arrows. That would be really hard. Try and find, like, if you really are, though, if you have a lot of the rope, yeah, that's a good arrow to use.
Because it's not pointy, but if you shoot it, it should knock someone unconscious. This is also
good,
actually.
It should, like,
it's a good short sword, see?
Yeah. Also, some arrows like that one could be made a good short sword.
And it's pointy, too.
Mm-hmm. Another thing, if you happen to find some sort of human stuff, like a small brick chunk or, like, some litter.
Or a pocket knife.
Or pocket knife or some crap, take advantage of any resources that could be used.
And make sure that whenever you're in a forest, when you're stranded in a forest, try to call for help.
Yes. One of the most common ways
to do that is smoke signals.
Smoke signals is a real good one. Another good one is also the SOS lights, if you can find a way to do that. Another good one is like if you find like an open field or something, use some big sticks to create 3 triangles. This is the international symbol for help me. So like that's a good way. But I'm pretty sure. So
That's all.
that's really all for the forest. If you do get trapped in the forest, there's a lot more like explore your own, but don't. A lot of berries don't eat. Stay out for poison ivy. It's got typically a red stem and 3 leaves.
Here's just a rule: don't eat anything unless you know what it is.
Or like if you really could tell it's not poison.
No, that's still not safe.
Which is still not safe, but like if you're really like so some of the most common forest animals to eat, by the way, are rabbits for one, 2 chipmunks and squirrels, 3
Probably birds.
yeah, birds probably, and snakes. You can eat most snakes. Don't forget to take out the venom sac, especially if it is a poison
You can actually
snake.
use that as a weapon.
And you could actually use the venom sacs as a weapon to, like, do you know if you could eat something if it has, like, no, you can't eat an animal, but if there's, like, you could make, like,
Pelts.
pelts or something like, but, yeah,